If you have to explain anything, if you're in a mode of questioning things, questioning yourself, your path, your objective, if you're on a pathway that has been unsatisfactory in any way, if you're not being who you came here to be, then do it now, please. Be free. Be who you came here to be. Be brilliant. Be magnificent. Be that impossible dream that you've had for yourself. But in being that, you got to stop being a false you, a manufactured you, a planned and predictable you. If you want to be free, you have to surrender to that which frees you. That which is not free has to let go of being in charge. I'll repeat that a couple different ways in case that's not obvious what that is. When you demand to be in charge and yet know that you don't know, that you're not conscious, that you're befuddled and stumbling through life hoping to find your way to a life worth living at the very least, and a life that is so fulfilling that it's a treasure to yourself. And then from there you can start exploring some really interesting spaces. But get yourself to where it's a pleasure to be you, then a treasure to be you, then magnificent. To be you. To be you. As you are. Just because you bought into a lie, a false identity, an alignment with things being bad for you and bad for others, that you've accepted that that's the way reality is. You need to take a break from reality, from that horrible sensation of being trapped and failing and unconscious and unaware and confused. And move into the direction of what you would feel like, what your body would feel like if things were graceful, if you were graceful. What if you were just physically graceful? What if you were just so physically present that the way that you move here delights other people? The way you assimilate things, knowledge, awareness, connections with other people. Well, how that happens is you embrace your freedom and you let go of where you're trapped. If you're trapped, it means that you are demanding to be free as you are, instead of being free as you are changed. You don't become free as the current version of you. The current version of you opens and expands and begins to find its voice, its own voice, your own voice. You begin to open into speaking your voice, your reality, your truth. First, the contextual truth, where you try to explain to others who and what you are. And then you have to keep revising that, because you keep opening further and experiencing more and understanding and realizing that you're none of these stories, that you're none of these identities, that you're none of the context of the created you. Yes, you have a body. Yes, you have a mind. Yes, you have connections. And yes, you've made all kinds of obligations for yourself based upon the identity that you've been here. But to know your truth, you have to open and expand both your awareness and all of your senses so that you move beyond your limitations and map out the reality of exactly who and what you are. So as I speak the words, let it happen for you. Not because I'm causing it to happen, but because you're causing it to happen, because you finally realized that the only problem was your seeking. You're validating an unconscious you by trying to change yourself into a better version of yourself. All you had to realize was that the current version of you had not one bit of truth in it. And you got along okay anyway, but you don't need those crutches. You don't need the lies. You don't need the ideas. You don't need the persona that is created through yin and yang and light and dark and good and evil and, taking sides, having clans, having patriotism. We're the best. We're the best. We're the very, very fucking best. Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. Really, really. Oh my God. How did you trap yourself so completely with that? Come on. No more. No more. No more. Don't do that to yourself anymore. Divorce yourself from yourself. Don't hide your light with your darkness. That's not how you find your truth. That's a painting. Beginning to paint to support my habit of having these chats with people who are interested in the same subject, and that is are we really going to drop everything now? All pretense, all identity, all limitations, all software programming that moves us through instinct and appetites and greed and hunger, sorrow, happiness, responsibility. All of that will readjust on its own. You don't need to plan it. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to apologize for you deciding to be you finally. Because you being you is such a blessing to all the rest of us that nobody's going to complain. At least not for very long. As soon as they see that the you that you are in this moment is so much better than what they were used to, they're going to realize that you're in their life for a very, very good reason, and that is because you're such a healing presence. You're such an invitation to them to be at peace with themselves, within their experience of being them. So, when's the time for that? Where's the place for that? Who do you invite to that party? While I check my messages, thank you very much. I have somebody that may be joining me on this. Instead of a monologue, we'll have some conversation, or I will direct it to her her expression, her point of view, her the fabricated her, the consciousness within the fabricated reality of who and what she is and how she is and what her capabilities and limitations are. And we'll address those from the point of view that she's chosen to take a quantum leap in the freeness and fullness of our realization and self-expression. So as I state what's going to happen, my body, whatever there is in me, thoughts, ideas, beliefs, attitudes, decisions, obligations, commitments, curses, opposition, consciousness, whatever comes up, and it has to refine itself to the point where, that higher request came through clearly. Hey, we're making the big shift, the big change. We're going all the way. We're saying, have a good day. We're moving on. We're moving on while we're staying here. We're just not continuing on in our pretense, in our game of limitations. We're here to open our consciousness and our awareness to the possibilities that still remain for us based upon who and what we are here, because we each have a body, and it's in the condition that it's in, and as you awaken within the body and and the consciousness of the body, that individuated you becomes freer and freer and freer, and you see more and you feel more and you know more and you know how to know, and your knowing is wise. That's where we're all moving. And this is just the way that I'm able to move myself. If I put myself in front of a camera and say it, then I can say what I can't say and experience what I can't experience if it's just for me. So I'm not doing this for any other reason that doesn't. My self-improvement, my opening, my realization, my embodiment of whatever truth it is that will set me free, which I already know is whatever the real truth of me is. And that's the same for everyone else. Whatever the real truth of you is what frees you, nothing else. The truth that sets you free is the you that is so free that your life changes because you woke up that much, because you took that much responsibility, and you shattered the patterns, the programmings, the trajectory. You hit the target. You said, hey man, I never expected to be this good. I'm done. And then you're still alive. You're still here. But now you have no more purpose because you already achieved the limited purpose that you had for yourself. You opened up enough and you said, oh man, I didn't know that I could actually begin to love myself, to like myself, to enjoy my life instead of just being in fear and being in lack and being in desperation. So take a breath like I just did. And if you feel like you have to experience samadhi or nirvana or something else in order to give yourself permission to be free, that you made it, that you passed the observation and opinions of a panel of experts that can say whether you're holy or not, or free or not, or wise or not, or the real thing, or a fraud. Excuse my French, but fuck all those guys. And girls, women, ladies, gentlemen. Anyone that says that from their point of view, that's antagonistic to other points of view, that they're right, oh my God, how could you even consider the possibility that that could ever be real and that could ever be true? It can't. Oh, they might have some context or pretext or supposition or point of view, but if it's oppositional, if it says, I'm right, you're wrong, you know they can never be right, because none of us gets out of here with having others be wrong. None of us transcend by anyone being wrong. everybody was here doing what they were doing, and everything was a perfect match to who you chose to be here. You're responsible for how this universe responded to you because of who you were being here. That was you. That was your choice. That was your comfortable self-realization here. All those crutches, all those unconscious words and actions and connections and purposes and unconscious confusion. Unconscious confusion. You know, as soon as you look at it like that and take responsibility and say, yeah, that's true. It wasn't anyone else. It was all me. It was all me. It was all me. I chose to be this. I chose to be this guy. I chose to be here in this room. I chose to try and follow my truth just a little bit by doing what I knew I had to do, which was occasionally turn this camera on and embarrass myself in front of anybody that ever watches this. At least that's the point of view of the remaining ego and the identity and the personality that I have of myself, is that I'm going to be hurt by being real. I'm going to be hurt by being a truth that is setting me free, by opening into that, by embracing that, by shifting and becoming something that was unpredictable, something open, something free, something loving, something generous, something kind, compassionate, considerate. Why would you hold yourself back from that self-realization? When it's real and true for everybody, that opens into and says, okay, let me taste that. See if I find that that's real for me. So taste it, please. And find out that grace is real, kindness, gratitude, love for everyone. No one's made out special because of any kind of victimization. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, because there really are so many victims in so many ways, but we all are victims of our own self-condemnation. We're victims of our condemnations of others. And we're convicted in our admiration of others that don't deserve it. We're following leaders that are lost. Don't follow leaders who are lost. And if the leader's saying those are the bad guys and we are the good guys, that leader's lost. Completely lost. You might be right contextually in saying, I'm not as bad. I'm not as bad for the world. I'm not as bad for the universe. I'm here making life better for everyone. You know, maybe one side's a better version of that, but it doesn't matter. It's still such a low level of self-realization. So why would you want to stand on that step on the stairway to heaven? Why would you say, hey, one step up is good enough? You know, I can see it goes way, 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 way up there. I can't even imagine how many steps it is, but my God, this first one is a doozy. I can't imagine how it gets any better than this. I feel so good about myself and my life and my friends and my work and my fulfilled self-expression. Don't stay on that trap, you know. Realize it. And at the point that you've got that fully realized, then say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now what's next? Where's that? Well, of course, the next step's right in front of you. Put your foot up there. Put some weight on it. Stabilize there on that one foot, and then move your other one. Bring it up there and put both of them on that step. And kind of go back and forth and say, what does this step represent? What are the possibilities of consciousness here? What's the possibility of my physical self because of the new, higher, more open, more expanded, more knowing level of consciousness for myself. There. So now we're able to actually notice that who we are has been a fraud. Who we are right now is fraudulent. It's not real, it's not true, it's not right, it's not free, it's not knowing, it's not wise, it's not kind, caring, compassionate, and blissful for self and an blissful experience for other people. You know, let's not pretend that who and what we are is really good and the best and better than anyone else, so we don't need to change anymore. We don't need to do anything. It's time for us to be served. It's time for us to reign. It's time for us to be the boss of everyone because we're so good at being us. It's funny, you know, don't get stuck there, please. Please, you know, take a stairway up the stairway of, oh my God, even if you're an atheist, you can love the freedom of self-expression without limitation, without restriction. We don't need to put a path or a religion or anything on this, anything other than that. Oh my God, what a beautiful feeling I'm having right now. And open up. Say, yeah, I'm good with that. Hit me with that. Let me feel what that is. Within who and what I am in this second. Within who and what I am in this very second. Do a little check again on excuse me for a moment. Sending a text to my guest to see if she's going to join us. So when you're at a level where you're feeling overwhelmed and confused, like I am right now, then instead of shutting down and pushing things away and trying to destroy things, you open up and you say, what is this? What's this energy? What's this feeling? What's the point of view that's coming through all this? And do I like who I am when I'm being this consciousness, when I'm being this identity, when I'm being this personality? Do I like this? Is this what I came here to be, to say, to do? Is it? Are you fulfilled in every possible way? To the point where grand new horizons open up for you and you go, really? That too? This lifetime? You mean I can go like this, or I can go like this, and then finally I get it. And I feel completely blessed in every way and free. And then that gives me a view of something. Wow. So yeah, you don't know until you open and have the experience for yourself. And you can't know before you dive into the unknown, because you don't know it. Yeah, but you have to be willing to experience what the truth of that is, good or bad, right or wrong, black or white. You have to be willing to experience the truth without knowing what it is beforehand. And you can. can dive in. You can say, here I am. This is how I'm configured in this moment. This is what I look like. This is what I feel like. This is what I sound like. This is how I move. This is how I think. This is how I express. And this is how reality responds to me. You say, okay, so I've created all this, and why am I so unhappy with it? Because you took advice from others. Because somebody else was smarter or wiser or freer or more knowing or more convincing that they were right than you knew yourself to be. You gave your rightness to somebody else because you thought you were wrong. But you weren't wrong, you were right. Where you were wrong is when you decided that your rightness was wrong, and it wasn't. So take everything back. Nobody else is responsible for you but you. For the religious ones, if your destiny is the divine, then your origin is the divine. Come on. Isn't that obvious? And if your origin is divine, and the destiny is divine, and it's one great round of creation and destruction and beginning and end, meeting and coming together in one whole, wholesome, universal, self-realized truth within your experience of yourself, then yeah, I know. Who would want to do that? Not me, that's for sure. How about you? Not you either? Yeah, I figured not you either. But I'll tell you, one of us, maybe both of us, is going to change our mind. Or we're gonna take a baby step. We're gonna say, fuck all those other guys. I don't know why it seems like I'm the only one brave enough to take a step, but you know what? If that's the way it is, and so be it. I'm taking that step. I'm willing to be destroyed and rebuilt, reinvented as something awesome to me to be, compared to who and what I am. Allow yourself to open into an experience of you being awesome. In your experience of yourself first, and then in other people's experience of you. It's not an oppositional awesomeness. It's a universally giving and receiving of an awe for self and others and life and consciousness. You're awed until you open enough, until you're just awesome. So allow yourself to be in awe until you're awesome. That's the true church. Be in awe of whatever you're with until you are awesome. Love the one you're with. You know how that goes. That doesn't mean you abuse anyone else. What it means is you love the one you're with. You're awestruck. You love their expression. You love their freedom. You love their beauty. Even their ugliness can't cover that inner beauty that is so profound, that is so transcendent, that is so beautiful to see and beautiful to feel and beautiful to understand. When you can open up and to the experience of another person and with the willingness to have that experience, can you imagine what life would be like for you if you just decided that that's what you're going to do right now, and then you're going to keep doing it until you got tired of loving your life, being excited to be you. So let that sink in. Feel what parts of your body can't embrace that reality. And quit trying to be those parts and figure it out. Just realize that all that is a mental confusion. It's not someone else, it's not something else, it's your consciousness connected with a misunderstanding or misidentification or a confusion because you connected with somebody else who was completely out to lunch and confused, and then you continued to confuse each other until you could barely remember anything about anything except the fact that you were hungry and needed money and friends and family and work and maybe a dog. Come on, guys. And look what I have to take responsibility of. I didn't even shave for this. I've been pigging out for years. So I'm far from the best example of myself. But, I might surprise you. I might change. It's possible. I mean, look at me. I'm 62 years old. I was a wallflower nearly my entire life. A lot of opposition, a lot of conflict. A lot of seeming victimization of me. Choosing people to connect with, to do business that I knew would victimize me, and still doing it anyway. So, was any part of it their responsibility? No. The only way it can be fixed is for you and I to each take 100% responsibility for every aspect of the condition that we're in this moment. 100% responsibility. Now feel like what that feels like in your own body right here, right now. What does it feel like to take 100% responsibility for 100% of the condition that you find yourself in, everything that you can perceive, with every level of perception that you have, with every perceptor that you have, whatever it is that you experience, you're experiencing that way because of you. Nothing else. Because everything else other than you simply responded appropriately to who and what you presented yourself to be. So, I've got a lot of responsibility to take for myself. Because I so like to blame other people for my condition, on why I can't eat right, why I can't exercise right, why I don't have any money, or why I don't have any talent to do anything. I've been too busy, worrying, sleeping, relaxing, what? What was I too busy doing? What was so important that I couldn't love being who I was being? So that's your lesson for today. What is so fucking important that you can't love being who you are in this moment? And that's what's wrong with you. Now, there's nothing to fix about it. It's unfixing it. You're fixed. That's the problem. Now you have to unfix yourself. You have to unfuck yourself up. So you fucked yourself up. You noticed that? You realized it, that it was actually you that did it to yourself, not the universe doing it to you. The universe was just saying, oh, that's the game you're playing? Okay, we'll play with you. You started the game. You made the rules. The universe just said, okay, we're in. We'll play with you. Okay, that's your reality. That's your rules. That's your mindset. That's how things happen for you here. Okay, so everybody take your positions. Here's a new guy, he's coming in. Here's his rules. Here's who he's going to be. Here's what he's going to accept. Here's what he's going to fight. Here's what he's going to be good at. Here's what he's going to be bad at. And game on. Game on. I don't want to play that game with you anymore. You want to play that? Then go away. I don't want to know you. Why would I? Why am I still having anything to do with people who are determined to die to themselves forever? The only way they'll change is for you to change first. But for you to change first, give yourself a little distance from the people who are openly hostile and oppositional to you, please. Take enough of a stance to say, you know what, I can't take any more of you right now. I don't know what I'm going to decide about it, but I can't be with you right now. I can't share your opinion of me anymore. I disagree with your opinion. I like myself. And I'm doing the best that I can. And if you're labeling me anything that means I can't be who I really am around you, then I can't be around you. I want to be who I really am here, not your idea of who and what I am here based upon a cursory look where you didn't duplicate anything about me. So you can't be in control of somebody else's reality and defining who they are. That's their job. And when they awaken, they get to shift, they get to change, and you get to go say, "Attaboy, buddy. I knew you had it in you. I knew you were going to make this choice. I knew you were going to take the responsibility, and I knew you were going to do it this time. I just want to let you know I'm always there for you. Whatever the ups and downs are, until you're fully realized to the point that you set yourself free. You got a friend in me. And I know that's a strange thing to say and to be and to mean. I mean it when I say whatever the best is of you that you want to be, that you want to embody, that you want to experience, and you want to do that right now, right here with me, I'm playing that game with you. I'm all in. Hit me with the best you've got. Let me see what that divine potential or what that cosmic consciousness is for you who, don't like things to be traditionalized according to, all the crazy people that, ran religions. We understand that. The religious people aren't stupid and blind and dumb, They found a beautiful experience in the tradition. They said, "Oh, this is so beautiful. This is so nice. This is so lovely. This is so tender for us. We cherish it." Don't condemn somebody for that, for cherishing their tradition. If you've moved beyond traditions and you're taking responsibility for what you see and what you hear and what you say and what you feel and how you express yourself here, then God bless you, because you're damn near done everything you need to free yourself. Now go all the way. Take universal responsibility yourself. Not just for yourself, but for everyone and everything. Throughout all time, all space, all dimensions, all realities, all universes, all that is, all that was, and all that ever will be, If you're going to go all the way, that's how much responsibility you have to take. You don't have to go all the way. I'm just trying to make a map and explore the territory and say, well, I still want it better than this. What's next? I mean, I made such a bad experience of being myself. I got a long, 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 long way to go. A lot of shifts, a lot of changes before I'm going to be happy. But I smile sometimes now because I'm going, wow. In my experience of me, sometimes I go, wow. And isn't that a lovely thing from somebody who condemned himself to ultimate destruction before in my life? You can change, you can shift, you can become something else. Because why? Not because it's a miracle that you can become someone else. It's because the you that you are isn't you. And so it's real easy to change from who you aren't to opening into letting who or whatever it is that you actually are open and flow and freely be expressed through you. And if you don't know what it is, why do you demand being in control? All you're going to do is condemn yourself to hell or unconsciousness or stupidities and to bias so profoundly wrong that, you know, who knows when you're going to give yourself permission to wake up again, but you still can right here, right now. So just do it now. Nothing's more important, nothing's more real than what's really real and true of you. Okay, that's feeling a little better for me now. Not so conflicted, not so confused, not so in fear for my experience of myself. I'm beginning to experience a level of who and what I really am that is giving me hope for the rest of my life. And then realizing what exactly is true, we allow that realization to reformat our consciousness, our experience, our identity. And so everything that came before that was a lie, that just, it's like fuel for the fire of transformation that occurs because your choice to open and to flow as whatever it is you really are. And know that by opening and flowing, it's not going to hurt somebody else. Your being set free is not a condemnation of anybody else. And it doesn't hurt anybody else. If you want to be free, be free. You're not helping anybody by tormenting yourself or anyone else. That's just makes you impossible to be around for anybody that's conscious. Don't torture people. Don't torture people anymore. It's not kind. And you know it's not right. And you're doing it for what? Money? Come on, people. The end of that road that you're on is worse than death. Putting a little pressure on my muscles because, you know, I haven't taken very good care of my body, and so as change wants to happen to me, to my body, sometimes I have to move it around and flex and explore the limitations of my mobility in order for, a more open level of knowing happens. So if that's your purpose for yourself, to have a more open and knowing level of consciousness here, if you perceive things as they actually are, then you don't have to argue about anything, do you? Not with anybody. Because you already know and understand exactly where somebody is, where they've trapped themselves, and that they're just expressing themselves out of terror that they'll forever be experiencing themselves the way they are right now. What a horrible existence to be tongue-tied and frozen and unfeeling, with no compassion, with hatred for others. Can you imagine? Can you imagine your belief that hating anyone for anything, especially anything physical and societal, and don't hate any of them, or you're hating yourself. I know you hear that all the time, but let me try and put it in a way that makes sense to you. If you're dancing with the devil, then you're playing the devil's game. If somebody's truly worthy of your criticism, they're a key player in your life. Okay, are you going to make a change or not? Give yourself some privacy, some private time. Take a step back. Withdraw your interest into your own experience of yourself, because that's where you find your freedom, not in focusing on somebody else's consciousness on why it's right and you're wrong. It may very well be right and you are surely wrong, but if you take that position, you'll never find your freedom, because you only find your freedom by being free, by being right and not being wrong. I know it's a bit of a conundrum maybe, or a paradox, or something that makes it impossible for that to ever happen for anybody, but it's not the now that is now anymore. The now's shifted to now, and now things are different. You're not restricted like you were before. You can really just open up your consciousness and experience a level of wow that would take a lifetime of meditation before. Just say, okay, I'm open. I'm willing to experience it. I'm willing to have the experience change me. I'm willing to experience something beautiful, and I'm willing to allow the beauty to change me, to recreate my experience of who I am. Allow yourself to be changed by beauty. Allow yourself to be changed by love. Feel somebody loving something, anything, and realize that, that level of admiration, that level of cherishing, that level of, being the experience and the expression of love for someone or something else. If you can't feel that for yourself, see somebody else doing it and experience their experience of that with them. Because if somebody's in love, they see somebody else struggling to open and be in love themselves. Not in an objective way, but in a wholesome completion. The wholeness of you, with no parts of you left out or rejected or chastised or unconscious. You just, okay, so this is my domain, this body, and everything connected within and without, all those connections, everything about my experience is under my control? Yeah. So experience that that's real and that's you and that's true. Now, can you change things in a way that's wise, that doesn't cause disruption, that is pleasant for yourself and pleasant for other people? You know, do you take the path of holiness and create agony in other people because they think you're lost, they think you're unconscious, they think you're deluded, they think they've lost you for the rest of their lives, and that's what you do to be free? You renounce the people who love you so you can run away and be free? Come on, man. Come on. Love the one you're with, especially the ones that love you, that are happy when you're around, that are joyful when you're joyful, you know, that feed off you and you make things better for each other. If you don't have somebody like that right now, open up into being that for somebody. Just putting out that invitation to the universe and say, I'm willing to be whole in my experience of myself and as my expression of myself to you. Once you've decided to be your wholeness, to be the complete you, the one that's open and free flowing, and all the other things, the unconditional love, the grace, the kindness, the gratitude, all of that. Let it happen. You know that's what you'd like, and you know that that's actually what's true. You just can't figure out how to get out of the self-punishment that you put yourself in. And you don't figure it out. You don't pay penance for it. All you do is take responsibility for it. Say, yeah, I did that. Okay, did that. Did this to myself. Oh, so I did all of this to myself. And I did all of this to myself. The only resistance that you have to being free is whatever responsibility you give to somebody else that they caused it in you, that you didn't cause it yourself 100%. So when you feel that pain, when you feel that trauma, and you feel that confusion, you say, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh, I did that. Then you're a little more free. I did this too. A little more free. Oh God, this is so nice, but I'm so limited here also, and I did this too. Then your life starts getting good. Fill your life, take responsibility, and let it get good for you. All the bad you did to yourself, all the good you did to yourself, and now that you know that clearly, cleanly, and presently, that you're driving your ship of consciousness yourself. You didn't farm it out to somebody else because you didn't know what you were doing. You're not hiding, you're not holding back, you're not being present anymore. You're not pretending to be confused and pretending to be human and pretending to be George and Jeff and Yoko and Samantha. Now, Samantha Stevens believed in herself, you know. Let yourself be a little bit magical. Let there be synchronicities for you. Let there be happy occurrences.